Yo. Back again with the podcast.
Common sensitivity.
Common sensitivity. As long as you got common sense, you'll be common sensitivity. You know what I'm saying? The black guy here, Nate. Back around again, you know what I mean? Got Monique. Big Neek. What's up, Neek?
AKA Mo. This is episode 1 of Common Sensitivity Podcast.
Uno.
And we have Nate, not the black guy.
Super black.
Because it's like not obvious.
What's up with y'all? Is we lit or what? Lit? Okay, you better drop it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Say that you lit. Better say that you fucking with us. All right. Yeah, we got some things lined up for y'all this evening.
Yeah.
We about to get into it. Go pretty deep. You know what I'm saying? Get it all out of us. How was everybody's Labor Day? How was your Labor Day? It was cool?
I had a great Labor Day.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a great Labor Day. How was yours?
Long.
Yeah.
Long. I had to go and work.
You worked on Labor Day?
Man, thought I wasn't going to have to. I was door dashing everywhere. It's door dashing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and it's so simple. You know what I'm saying? You deliver an order, then you eat somebody else's order. Simple.
You DoorDash a lot.
No, I don't DoorDash a lot.
Oh, okay.
But I did DoorDash a little bit, though. I was like, they're paying an extra $3 today. Let me go ahead and get that money. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So there was a time when I would, I think I Grubhub. You know what? I did Postmates and Grubhub, right?
How was that?
So Grubhub, you make more money. Okay. And that's like a more higher end dining.
Okay. Oh, upper echelon.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Pinky in the air. You know what I'm saying?
But when those gas prices went up,
oh, no.
I was like, it doesn't even make sense to do this. Like, I'm not doing it.
I'd have been on a moped. Forget that.
But gas prices are starting to kind of come down.
A little bit.
So I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's probably beneficial.
Right. Yeah, you kind of get that back. I try not to go too far. They had me going
it's a little difficult not to do it, though, not to go too far. If you accept an order, you just never know.
They had me go like the same distance back to back. I was low-key hot. I was like, why y'all didn't stack this order, man? Y'all playing?
And the thing
I don't want to go over there.
I don't know how DoorDash works, but I know like with Grubhub, you want to make sure that you have a high acceptance rate. Yeah. Because the higher your acceptance rate is, the better your offers are. Right. And then also you have like tiers of, the type drivers, I guess. Tier levels for the drivers.
Purple ribbon.
Yes. Well, you get the better.
Medal of Honor.
So what happens is they open up their schedule on like a Saturday.
Okay.
So the higher level tier driver you are, you get like access to that better schedule before anyone else. So
priority.
I don't know how DoorDash works, but
that sounds like being a bus driver almost.
I don't know. I've never been a bus driver.
You gotta show up for all the shifts. That's how it is when you're a bus driver. Like when you first come in, like unless they put you on a route, you'll be like sitting around in the fish pool, kind of waiting for somebody that can't take over a route or don't show up or something like that.
Okay.
And then that's how you kind of get overtime and recommended for stuff and all that stuff. Okay. I wasn't a bus driver. I just know because I was on that path, but it's a different story.
Gotcha.
Time. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. That's cool. So Labor Day always ends, like, for me, I feel like it's like the official end of the summer, even though summer doesn't really end until, September 21st, 22nd?
Officially, right?
Officially, right.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like that long weekend. It's like the last long weekend.
That's true. I never thought about it like that, but that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, you're right.
So summer is kind of coming to an end. You can tell that it's getting darker faster.
Man, yeah, I looked up the other day.
Not faster, but sooner.
7, right? It was 7 now. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's dark out there. Yeah. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. I always look forward to that, but then we live in a place where it's stupid hot. I'm just like, golly.
It's so hot, and we're gonna be pretty
Hot.
Hot until what? Like November, the end of November?
Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about it like that. I feel like it's going to be longer. My brother said it was 107 out there today. I was like, what?
Out in Cali?
Yes.
Well, we had a massive heat wave this weekend. That's where I was.
Really? I just saw that, too.
Yeah. It was 109, I think, on Saturday out in Moreno Valley. What? Shout out to Mobile.
Shout out Mobile. What's up with you? 109?
I think so. It was crazy. So Saturday, me and my sisters, we drove out to Moreno Valley, where I wouldn't say I'm from Moreno Valley, but I grew up there until I was like 12. I actually moved to Phoenix from Moreno Valley when I was 12. So we went there, and then we did that Saturday morning, and then Saturday like evening-ish, we drove out to San Diego. But it was so hot that my family in San Diego packed up their things from the beach around, like, after being there for 2 hours, talking about they were so hot.
Seriously?
Yo, it was
that bad?
It was so hot in Cali that everybody I talked to in my family that lives out there was like, nah, we can't come out. It's so hot. It's so hot. We got headaches and all kind of.
Well, you know, Cali, I mean, that's us. We bougie. It is what it is. We bougie.
You're
being
so
from Cali.
bougie. I'm like, this is my life, so welcome to it.
But once you leave Cali for a while, or you go see and experience something else, you kind of lose a little bit of bouginess because you see how privileged you really were. And you're like, oh, okay. And then there's like more stuff out there to explore.
It's like way more to do.
Right.
The weather, and it's interesting because that heat wave is kind of like the calm before the storm.
Well, yeah.
And it's also, people need to recognize that global warming is real.
Yeah, it's serious.
I would say probably 15 years ago, I was saying global warming, like, that makes sense.
Right.
And people are like, no. I was reading on how, like, the ice glaciers will be melted by, like, 2030, and just, we needed to take heat.
Think about that, huh?
Well, yeah, now it's, 2022?
Yeah.
And look at the weather patterns.
You got 8 years, world. 8 of them. And not even a full 8. 2022 is done. It's done already. You know what I'm saying?
It's done like the summer is.
Right.
What are your any summer highlights, takeaways? Did you do anything fun this summer?
Takeaways, huh? Highlights. Do I? Nah, I don't have that.
No?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't know. Really, I've been working my butt off this whole summer, so the highlights, so hot you can't even remember sometimes.
This heat is kicking your ass.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know. I'm liable to fall asleep up here right now. I'm like, yo, it's tiring. Nah, but highlight wise,
you have your day job is pretty
intense.
Requires you to be in the heat a lot.
This is true.
Yeah,
this is true.
That's rough.
Oh, I got a highlight.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a highlight, but something by myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no help now. I kind of like that. I like working by myself, though. You know what I'm saying?
Has that been your highlight of the summer?
Yeah, that's my highlight. It's great.
So you didn't do anything fun this summer?
Okay. All right. I went up in the mountains.
Okay.
Spent some quality time, family, kids,
what
and all
mountains
that.
did you go to?
Is that like near the White Mountains? It's like Sholo.
Okay.
It was pretty dope. It was up there in Pine Top.
Did you get a cabin? What was
Yeah,
okay.
it was a little Airbnb. It was pretty nice. It was quiet up there,
Okay.
Real quiet. It felt really good up there because it was hot as shit down here. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like a whole 20 degrees cooler. Thank you. It felt wonderful. I was like, dude, I don't think I really want to go nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad at this.
Okay. All right. You spend like a weekend?
Yeah, it was a weekend thing.
Okay.
Hit up the lake.
Nice. Did you guys fish?
No, we didn't fish. Skip some rocks. We did that.
Do you fish? Not really.
No, I really don't. I would love to go fishing, but see, I don't want to fish from like the dock or like the side of the lake or something. I want to like go on a boat.
Okay. All right.
I know people are probably like, well, you need to start somewhere. Yeah, probably, but I want to start on a boat.
Fishing is one of those sports that it takes a lot of patience.
Shout out to fishing. I need to learn that. Thank you.
Well, it does. I mean, because you can be out there for
a long time.
For a long time until you get a hook, line, and sinker. So,
man,
and I personally don't fish, so
I'm gonna have to. Hey, I respect those who go fishing by themselves then, because I see it. I'd be like,
yeah,
and you gonna be there a long time like that?
yeah. So what Vel does is he will take like a cooler, and he's out there with his beers, and
by himself.
No, it's only if like we go camping with like friends, or if we're just happen to,
Yeah, see, that's what
he's never. He doesn't really pack up and say, "I'm gonna go fishing for the weekend," But I could see him doing that.
Right. Yeah, I kind of want to be like that one day. Just I'm packing up and going fishing. Why not?
It's relaxing. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I personally, nature is one of like the best resets.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that definitely. I needed that. I was just talking to a few friends about that. I think we spoke about that last time. It's like, that's one of those things that you got to just take control of because it's not given. You have to just do it, take it because you're going to need it. And, I was glad that I was able to do that. Took some shots along the way there and back.
Yeah.
So that was actually a good trip because we got
You
to
said
do
shots?
Oh, yeah, photography.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so we did some photography along the way and along the way back.
Those views were beautiful,
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
To die for. I really want to go back up there and shoot a real video. It's really nice.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that kind of brings me to, when we talk about reset, how's your mental state?
Today, fried because I'm hot. I'm still sweating from earlier right now. No, I'm good. Just it's hot. And the heat has really been just really playing a big part in that, because a lot of things that normally you probably wouldn't take personal or to whatever degree or too far, the heat is just like irritating, so you might do it. But for the most part, I've been pretty good about that.
Yeah, I think in the industry that you're in, looking back, I can always remember the summers were the roughest time of the entire year.
Yep.
I mean, it was just people were angry. It was super hot. Everything that could go wrong would go wrong. And so the summers definitely here in Phoenix are just a crazy time. And they're brutal. Yeah.
This one was brutal.
Yeah.
But
this summer wasn't that bad though.
What? Yeah, right. That's because you spent most of it in Hawaii and California and stuff like that. If you were here most of the time, you felt that.
Well, if you think about it, right? We had more like overcast, like breezy days. Monsoon came
we did
early.
have a long monsoon.
We didn't
season.
hit any. I don't think any days I don't think we ever hit 120 this year. I don't.
If we did,
if we did, I wasn't here.
Yeah, exactly.
If we did, I wasn't here.
Look, speak for yourself. No, actually, I think we had to have hit 120 because I spoke to this FedEx driver dude when he was delivering a package.
Okay.
And it was so hot. I was like, dude, how hot is it in your truck, bro? He's like, man, I ain't trying to go back there and grab nothing. It literally says it's 150 back there. I said, in your truck? Nah, man, nah. You know what? Just park your truck right here. Just go get in the pool or something, champ. Go chill out because this is not cool. Tell your job. I said.
I know it got to 113, 112, but I'm not sure it got to 120 this year. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
The way it felt,
Yeah.
I'm just thankful we didn't have to go up on the roof and do no AC work or nothing like that.
Are your ACs on the ground?
No, actually.
Okay.
But we vent them all out. So
nice.
it's very refreshing to watch
Okay.
contractors show up from the inside of the
And you
office.
just are like,
I'm just
yep,
like,
go
look
ahead
at
and
those
take care of
guys
that.
go. Look at them go. I love it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, no, I asked about your mental state just because, I don't know if you know this, but September, the month of September, is Suicide Awareness Prevention Month. Did you know that?
No, you put me on game. You put me on game.
It's wild. And, the suicide rate is unbelievable.
Okay. How's your mental?
My mental state, I think right now I would have to say that I'm in a really good place in terms of like I'm not stressed out. It's like the first time in all of my career that I've not been just
that's good
stressed out, and I love that.
That's good.
And a big weight has been lifted from my shoulders because I no longer have littles. My son graduated, he turned 18.
Oh, lucky so.
So, all of those, I don't have to worry about back to school shopping. I don't have to worry about teachers calling me.
She's rubbing it in. That's what it is.
It's just a different season for me and a different phase. And so my mental state is really good. But there are times where earlier in the year, it wasn't the best. So...
I'll give you that.
So I think it's important to do frequent mental health checks.
Got to,
because you just never know what somebody's going through.
Got to do that.
Yeah.
Got to do that. Yeah. No, I understand that. That's true. Now that I think about it, there was some things that were on my mind, in the past week, but I just decided to be like, you know what? Do I control them? Nope. Either the people involved are going to want my help or they're not. I can't sit here and wait on you.
Yeah.
And, just coming to terms with that and just being like, all right, well, hey, nothing I can do. That's it.
Yeah.
No matter who it is. It was just like, all right, well, hey.
Yeah.
Lift this weight up off of me.
Knowing when to cut your losses, learning when to walk away.
And it sucks too, because sometimes you have heartstrings attached to those things or those people or whatever it is, and you never could imagine yourself doing that, and then you have to do it, and you're just like, oh, well. I mean, I feel like I've exercised that over my life period so much, so I'm just like, all right, it'll be all right, universe always takes care of it all. So
I mean, do you feel like your mental state is affected by other people outside influences, or is it work, or is it just the daily grind, or what do you think triggers
I think the biggest percentage, I'd have to be honest, it's probably other people.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm an empath, which sucks and is cool at the same time, but you got to know where to put up those boundaries and your limitations and stuff like that with people, because some people see that and take advantage of that,
Yeah.
So, and really it's just about, self-preservation and self-love, self-care. I've seen a lot of people exercise that nowadays and try and get a hold of that. A lot of us have had it already, but just didn't really exert that, and now that's becoming a big thing, which is great, because now it's bringing more awareness to self. And the only way to correct any situation is first you got to be aware of and know self.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, it's I have really bad anxiety, and I think that I never really knew that, just because growing up I just thought this is just who I am. I didn't know, and then until it was really brought to my attention, and then someone was like, did you know that you have really bad anxiety? And I was like, what? And so this particular person actually introduced me to lavender oil.
Oh, I got some of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good thing.
I think that was the beginning of my essential oil journey. And this was six years ago this year, because it was right after my mom died. Right. And I would go into I would notice in certain social settings or just when I was going into something that I was that was unknown to me, I would find myself sweating or just kind of
nervous
internally,
You nervous in there? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, and people always say, you don't seem nervous. I'm like, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on inside.
On the surface, she looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but she keeps on forgetting.
Mom's spaghetti.
Okay. All right, look, a little bit of 8 Mile in there, you know what I'm saying? That's funny.
Yeah. So, anxiety, I do struggle with that. I would say mental health, I personally think it runs like in my family. Like, I think there is a line of mental health issues.
I just think you crazy.
I don't think
No, I'm just playing.
I think there is. I can think about like my mom, rest her soul, and like certain people in my family, like they struggle with like depression and
that's
just things
thing.
like that, and it's very serious. And I think part of awareness is understanding that mental health looks different for everyone. So just because someone looks great on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't suffering from something, and everyone says, oh, I've got anxiety. Right. But like, there's levels to anxiety.
This is true.
Right. And it looks different for everybody. I mean, I know someone, I have an aunt that struggles so bad with anxiety, like, but hers is social.
Oh, okay.
So she will make plans with you to no end. Let me just tell you. I mean, and then literally,
shout out to Aunt.
It'll be like
Auntie. the
hour of the event, and she is flipping out on the inside.
Real?
I think like, well, I'm sick and I can't come, and there's all these excuses, and so it just looks so different.
She can't come. She planned it for everybody to come at her house.
Well, she does a good job of not doing
I can't
that.
make it, okay? But you said you were hosting the Super Bowl at your house.
No. She doesn't do that. It's more of like you inviting her places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
she feels like everyone's talking about her or looking at her, and it's just
you know
weird.
what? That's funny that you kind of bring that up, because a lot of people like that I have come in contact with and just known all my life or whatnot, or just even shorter periods of time, people always kind of look at me like, how do you do it? Like, how do you just keep going? Like, even you were like, man, you're just like
I will say that but behind closed doors is that's why I say, it's easy to, in the moment, just kind of keep a smile on your face, right?
Honestly,
if that's kind of who you are.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I smile even behind closed doors as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think I cope with things pretty well. My struggle growing up, and even now sometimes a little bit, is just like acceptance. It sucks.
Just accepting it.
Yeah, it's like, who wants to do that? But at the same time, you have to grow. So here it is. It's like, it's one of those, either it's going to be or it's not going to be.
Right.
Really, the choice is up to you. Do you want to stay in the same boat or you don't?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times I have to go look in the mirror and talk to myself like that. Like, I don't know who that is, and get him right together. Like, you're stop playing with yourself. You're out here playing.
Yeah.
When you can easily accept, move forward.
Well, I think, and that's balance, right?
Right.
I think that if you're able to do that, you're a very well balanced human.
Try my best.
But not everyone's is equally balanced.
You're right. And that's it's not a shock, but it's a little disheartening, a little bit.
Well,
only because
it's suicide awareness.
It is. You're
prevention
right.
month.
You're right.
What does that look like? What does that mean?
I just know that my story is unique in its own way, as everyone else's is. But certain things that people tell me, or I come across in their backgrounds and stuff, I just be like, man, I would never go for that, or I would never do this. And I have things that are worse sometimes than theirs sounds worse sometimes. But even so, I'm just like, nah, forget that. Like, somewhere along the line, you're just gonna have to say forget it, and just go for what you know and what you like, what you do, who you are. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go after what you want, what you need. It's your life. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't care too much about what everybody thinks of you or how they want you to live and all that kind of stuff. Like, I recently had a discussion with my mom about that kind of stuff, and it's just like, why are you preaching to me? I love you, I understand, but I didn't call you for you to preach to me right now. Like, I'm not mad at that, but understand where I'm coming from, why I'm saying what I'm saying. Don't just look at it with just a traditional view and only that. Like, to be well-rounded, you can have that, implement that where necessary, but also you have to be like a sponge to soak up new information, because the world is always changing, and you got to change with the times as well and adapt. Or
you spiral out of control.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And then you'll really be looking at a mental health issue.
Well, so I know someone that has committed suicide. I know someone whose young child has committed suicide. And when, I guess for me, that kind of hits close to home, just because I feel like everything that you're saying, I agree with you, being well-rounded, being a balanced person. But unfortunately, that just isn't the reality for a lot of people. And I think there's tools that you can implement. I personally have never had a suicidal thought. So to know that there are people out there that just feel like whatever it is that they're going through was so detrimental that they just had to end it all.
Right. It's crazy.
It's I'm at a loss of words because I don't know, like, you know, how does it get that bad? Yes. I don't understand how it gets that bad.
And honestly, RIP to those people. I'm sorry. But honestly, that takes some real courage, and it's not easy to just like do yourself like that. You know what I mean? That takes guts. I knew someone.
You have to be deeply hurting.
Oh, it has to be really bad.
It has to be really, really bad.
It has to be really bad.
Yeah. I just want to say that to anyone that is experiencing suicidal thoughts, or knows someone that has committed suicide, you're not alone in
at all
feeling, just overwhelmed, or that you don't have anyone, or that you're better off not here. There's a community of people that feel that way, or have experienced a thought like that.
Right. Very true.
But I think it goes without saying that once, that person is no longer here, they no longer feel that pain. It's all of their loved ones and the people that feel that pain,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, if more people, I believe that mental health like issues and awareness should really start at home, and there's behaviors that are exhibited very, that sometimes they are exhibited early on, sometimes not. I have a cousin that's a therapist, and she says that the majority of like mental health issues do not like onset until your early 20s. So that's kind of why, you don't really know there's an issue until you're like in your young adult years,
that makes sense.
Then you start to feel just kind of like unhinged, and if you don't have those resources or that support that you can kind of talk about or be open about, or self-care, reset, shutting down and shutting out the world till you can kind of, regain consciousness, if you will,
You really just gotta, and I mean, I know it sounds like easier said than done, but it's mind over matter every time. It really is. No matter how you want to spin it, flip it, whatever it is, it's always going to boil down to that. And it's not to diminish or minimize any of those things that people are feeling. They're all valid, 100%. However, your purpose is greater than just taking yourself from here, because you're not taking just you. You're taking a piece of you from those people who do care for and love you. So we definitely experience that. And some of us end up being lost or falling into this depression and spiraling out of control. You know, I know plenty of people like that. It's like you lost a parent and they were doing great, wonderful, you know, athletes, lawyers, all this stuff, like great prominent people. But then it's just like now you feel like zero. You feel like you're down to nothing now. It's just like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe just because I'm cut from a different cloth, or I just had to experience a lot of things at a young age. Maybe that's what's made me a lot tougher. I can say maybe. I like to think that God just gave me a great purpose, and that was just who I was going to be and who He designed me to be, period.
Yeah.
But definitely experience has, you know, a lot to do with it. Life experiences growing up. But really, it's just about how bad you want it, you know, and you got to want it really,
really
bad, you
really
know,
bad.
bad. Like, and it's going to be times that it looks like the clouds are never going to clear out. It looks like that. It looks like this is the end. You know, you're at ends meet. You don't care anymore, and I understand that. I totally understand that. I feel for you in that moment. I've been there, but it's always something greater, and we just don't see it at that moment in time. But it's definitely there. You know, maybe you need to search in a different area. You know, a different form or fashion. Sometime, you know what? Somebody actually told me this, and this was a really good piece of advice they told me. I was explaining to them what I was just saying. And, you know, I had all these great points. And they were like, well, have you ever tried just sitting still? It's like, oh, shit. Like, you know, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, all right. You got a point when you say that. Because we're already running around, you know, moving around. Like,
that's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
It's a great tool.
And that's what I'm saying is that tools, everybody needs those tools in their tool belt, right?
Right.
Because life is hard.
Very.
No matter who you are.
Very.
Right?
No matter where you are.
There's levels of hard, right?
Right.
But it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter if you're the homeless man, you know, on the corner. Like, life is hard.
It's difficult.
And so everyone, what your hard looks like is different, right? Which means that how you process things is different.
Right.
But when you kind of stop and you process, you focus first, right? Focus. You gotta know what kind of sets off those triggers,
right? And
identify with them,
right?
And
definitely.
and then kind of sit with it, if you will, and know what feeds your soul. What do you need? You know, you're like, sometimes I gotta run it back and talk to myself.
Oh yeah.
You know, me, I'm like, okay, it just depends on what's going on. You know, maybe I'm shut off from the world for a few days. Maybe I'm not taking any calls. I'm not answering phone. You know,
I respect people who do that. I swear.
You know,
can you teach me that, please? You know,
it's easy. It's easy.
That.
You know, and sometimes people are, I call. It is what it is. I don't know. Right now, I'm having some challenges, and I'm just not on. I'm not taking calls.
I respect.
You know,
like
whatever
seriously.
it is. You know, whether it's shut off from social media or, you know, my essential oils, or you know, I will be honest and say that, you know, lavender oil. I have a whole box of essential oils. Right?
So do you like apply it to your skin?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but lavender oil has gotten me through. Like, interviews, really, it's gotten me through just kind of like, okay, like, I'm just gonna.
Have you ever used like actual lavender? Have you ever bought some lavender?
No, but you know what? I do think about putting it like in my shower.
Oh, eucalyptus is bomb.
Yeah,
in your shower.
And just kind of just like,
yes,
yeah, you know,
lavender too. Lavender, man,
because it'll help you sleep.
What?
You know, I will say that essential oils, I love essential oils. Yeah, like I would roll essential, like lavender oil on my nieces and nephews when I was babysitting.
New age melatonin right there.
Yeah, because I'm like, I need this kid to go to sleep.
All right, it's that time. Come on.
Right.
Give me a hug.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So it's just like, you know, really being conscious about and being aware that you're not alone. Don't worry about what people are going to say or think.
Right.
what it looks like on the outside. Like you said, you know, you always came to work smiling and,
always,
you know, like still vibrant.
Always vibrant.
But deep down, you might have been dealing with a whole lot of stuff, you know, because I've seen you dealing with some different things, you know. So it's like what it looks like on the outside isn't necessarily what it is on the inside.
Right.
And that's also outside your door.
Right. No, that's true.
You know, outside your door, outside your body, like all of that.
That's true.
And it's so important that people understand that, you know, like, you know, I can't stress that enough, you know, and really just do what it takes. Take the time out to, like you said, just sit still, focus.
Got to.
You know, identify and process it all, and then find like those tools that work for you, whatever that looks like. Nature is another good one. Like, which, like we talked about, you know, taking hikes. I think the day that we got let go from that Tempe property suddenly.
I know, right?
I went on a hike.
Did you?
I did.
Where'd you hike at?
If you remember straight, that day was it President's Day? February 22nd. Yeah, it's President's Day. And I went up to a trail, the Hajj Trail System.
Where's that at?
Mesa. Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hiked, and it was so nice and peaceful, and like the weather was good, and that's where I just kind of that's me sitting still,
right?
Even though I'm not sitting still, right? Because to sit still, I don't know if a lot of people really realize this or recognize it, but to sit still and just sit still, that's you being present, and that's one of the hardest things to do.
That's good.
To be present with yourself.
That's real
and
good.
Really be in tune with what, you know what I mean? You not think about the future,
right?
Not think about what's going on, but just to sit still and be present. I have not mastered that. So my sit still is like
still going
but not going.
Right. Like put a little bit of slow down on it.
I might watch TV. I might go for a hike.
You're
know
good
what I mean?
if you can do. I can't do that still.
I'm telling you, I haven't mastered the whole art of being.
I hung my TV up and still didn't plug the power cord up. I just don't. I don't know. Like I feel you though. But you know what? Remember, like when you asked me if I won the lottery, what would I do? I would do that. And it's not even that I would be thinking about what I'm gonna do with the money necessarily. It would just be like to take it all in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean literally everything from like beginning to that present point in time, you know. And it just really be to take it all in and be a little devastated. Wow.
So if you won the lottery, what would you do?
Oh, I'd go give me a meal. Okay. Yeah, I'd go give me a good meal off the dribble.
Because you just said if you won the lottery, that's what I would do. So.
Oh yeah, I would sit still, just like how you went on a hike. Oh, I would sit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Still.
Okay. All right.
You know,
yeah.
I might even cry. I don't care. I'll drop a tear or two. Why not?
That moment would be so like just
because I'd finally feel like, all right, I'm already a dude who has a pretty good grip on what I want to do, how I want to go about it. I don't need much to really feel accomplished or do whatever. Like I have goals, of course. I have expectations, all that stuff, but I'm not like a flashy dude. I don't do all the extra stuff that a lot of people feel like they need in their lives to feel validated. As long as I know my family is straight, I'm good. And I know that I'm in a position to make sure of that. I'm going to have a good meal. It might even be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm just be honest. And I'm just going to sit there and I do nothing.
Right.
Just look. I'm going to just stare. Just straight ahead. You know, people go, hey, we're trying. Look, that'll be the day that I'm like, oh, yeah, no more phone calls for like 3 days. I think I've mastered it. Is that Monique? No,
wait, so you're saying that you take all the phone calls that you receive?
You know what? Not exactly.
So I was going to say, I think that's not true. I don't agree with that.
Don't listen to nothing she's talking about. Don't listen to it. I see her phone call. I'm like, ignore.
I know. You don't answer.
Ignore. That's not true. First off, when she calls, I'm busy. I'm actually working. You know,
when you worked for me and I called, you didn't answer.
Right, precisely. Now, I may not answer text messages promptly, but you know, a call, I'm like, all right, what you want?
Nathan, you don't adhere to deadlines. You don't answer the phone. You do call back.
Don't say my name. I ain't here. I do call back. You know, I'm learning that. I used to be worse. I used to answer every single phone call, even the scam people. Dead serious. Even the scammers. Hello. Hey, how you doing?
What do you?
What's up? What you eating over there?
You know what? Vel answered a scammer's call, right?
That's funny.
They told him that they were the IRS. So he entertains it for like a whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so where's your office located and what's your name and what's your contact number? Because I just want to make sure you are who you say you are, before I just give you my information.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he had a whole 5-minute conversation with these people. I will say that the scammers are getting really good.
Are they?
They are. Because the address that they gave him literally was addressed to an IRS building.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you could just look that up on Google.
I mean, I would just assume that, like, if you're scamming, that you don't have all your ducks in a row. But, I mean, they gave a phone number and an address. Because, I mean, think about the old scammers.
Well, I mean.
I guess the biggest telltale sign is that, like, the IRS is not going to call you.
No,
they don't call you.
They'll mail you or something.
Exactly. They will mail you.
They'll come out and get you or something like that.
But they're not going to call you. So that was the biggest telltale sign was that they called him, That's funny. So for me, in my mind, I always wondered, like, how are these people getting scammed? Because how is that not obvious that that's a scam?
Look, they call me. I'm going to give up somebody else's social security number. Forget it. They could tell me my shit back. I'm going to be like, no, I don't know who that is. That must be Sally. Mine is 555-5555. Yeah, I'm gonna entertain it too. I'm gonna be stupid.
Oh goodness.
I'll be real stupid. I make people mad. You probably want to hang up on me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Why did I call this guy? He's an asshole. Don't call me with your bullshit.
Yep. Not with the bullshit, huh?
That's funny.
I asked a guy today at work. I said, "Hey," are you with the shits?
Oh shit! And did you look at him like that when you said it?
So myself and another colleague had a task for him.
A task? Hey, no, that's what they call it now. It's not a mission no more in the streets. It's a task.
We needed someone to kind of willy-nilly do the dirty work for us, right? Because it was going to be obvious if we did it. But
you hear this?
So we enlisted just the perfect candidate.
Are you with the shits?
The new guy. So I'm like, hey, I said, are you with the shits? He says, what's that?
What is that? What? What was his name?
I'm not going to say his name.
Oh, wow. Was he?
Well, for confidentiality purposes.
Oh, okay.
I'll say his name was Billy.
Oh, wow.
So Billy says.
That tells me a lot. Yeah, what did Billy say?
Oh, God. He said, what's that? And I said, well, Nikki is going to give you the assignment.
Okay.
And then you'll know.
Oh, wow.
But I just thought it was funny because
spoiler, Monique works at the scammer's office. They've been calling Bill. You with the shits? We need you to call this guy right here, right now, and try and get his information, okay?
Oh my God.
So I'll start. Look, stay woke out here.
Yes. Stay woke.
That's funny.
Stay tuned in to the Common Sensitivity podcast.
Common sensitivity.
That's what it's called.
I
think earlier, did we say common sense?
Yeah, we did. I did.
I'm not really sure, but it is Common Sensitivity podcast,
and no
really,
sensitivity.
The purpose of this podcast is really to talk about controversial topics,
bring
awareness, but also not necessarily to bring awareness. It's really just to have a conversation because
That's
we're
right.
not the experts, right?
That's true.
And I think that, sometimes common sense is not common.
You can say that again.
Right? But things can be sensitive.
Yeah,
and they can be
true.
very commonly sensitive. And I think today's topic, Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, that's a sensitive topic, a very sensitive topic. And it's not, in no way are we giving advice or being the experts, but we want to talk about it because it's a real issue. I don't have the statistics on what the suicide rate is, but I know that it's a real issue and that it's at an abnormal high.
Right.
And when you have children as young as 8 years old killing themselves,
that's still crazy to
you
think
know,
about,
it's a problem, and it's a problem,
very huge problem.
It's a problem that needs to be addressed and taught and learned at home first, right? So that and parents need to equip their children with the knowledge of how to deal with tough situations and life, because life is hard, as we've already talked about. And it just starts there. And then when you send your kids to school, don't trust that the school system is going to equip your children with the tools on how to deal with bullies or, judging, judgment, because kids are cruel.
I do that at home. You know, a friend of mine, she explained to me that she was like her kid's first bully. And I guess that's something that was stated to her, and she researched that that you learn those things at home first. You do. You were saying
you do.
I guess you would say I learned it at home too, with my mom. So, and my pops. I do that even with my kids. I'm just like, what? I'm not a bully to you, but I'm gonna definitely toughen you up and let you know this world is nothing nice. Like, no, there's a time and place for everything. That's something that my mom drilled in my head. Like, I never will forget that. Yeah, early on.
Yeah, my mom used to tell me all the time. First of all, she would say, I never like to comb my hair.
You?
Never. You be surprised, right? Because I like to keep my hair done. I'm an adult now, but as a child,
You're an adult?
Well, I'm tender-headed. I'm tender-headted.
She grew
so as a child, I didn't like to get my hair done.
What?
And my mom would always tell me, don't you go out this house looking all crazy. You're a reflection of me.
Yeah, I used to hear that all the time.
That was one thing. The other thing is that she would always say, you would rather hear it from me than to go out here and one of these kids tell you about yourself, because kids are cruel.
Yeah, they have no filter.
They don't.
They
and
don't
so it starts really people at home. And in closing, I want to say, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to bringing you more content and just real life conversations, and let's talk about it and be open and transparent about it. And again, in no way are we here to be the experts, but we do love a good conversation.
Got to,
And common sense is not common.
Yeah.
Things are sensitive, very commonly sensitive. And that is where Common Sensitivity podcast came from.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how the rest of the world grew up when we grew up?
How better off they would be.
Yeah. Hey, look.
I think the only other generation that had it better than us were the baby boomers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't even say we had it all good like that. Like, it was cool.
But
we just got the last little bit that was in there.
It's another story for another day.
This is true.
But the way that we grew up, 80s babies.
Yeah. 80s babies.
80s
Where
babies.
you at? Yeah, it's your time to shine. Big 88 out here. You know what I'm saying?
85. And I'm live.
Best year.
Thank you. And we are out. See you next time on the Common Sensitivity Podcast.